All right, we're back. I have to turn my fan down. One moment. Goes down. Goes down. All right. Hello, Yoshi. I misspelled D that bad? Fucking. Just one of those days. All right. How's it going, folks? Sorry for the late start. We were just eating some Chinese food with my grandma and my aunt and uncle as well. So we're back. We're playing more of this. Let's get into it. How's it going, Toaster, Waffle, Yoshi? Yeah, we're getting lawyered. Hopefully this will be the last. I think this is the last trial of this case. So that'll be nice. Yeah, trial part 2. Alright, here we go. Jumping right in. 23rd of February, 11:32 a.m., the Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. Joyful, jubilant, jumping jacks!
Oh, Mr. Natsume, I'm so pleased for you.
Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, and non-locum judicial assistant Miss Mikotoba Esquirus. Now, finally, at long last, there can be proof. Proof that I'm innocent, and proof that my tea is innocent. Oh, Christ, he's here.
Ah, good morning, my dear fellows.
Die, Sherlock Sholmes! May you drink my tepid tea and fall forever silent! I thought the tea was innocent.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you came. How wonderful.
Please, save your derision. I know what you're all thinking. Good morning, he says, when it's very nearly time for luncheon. Your scorn is written clearly across your faces.
Nobody said or thought anything of the sort. Speak for yourself, I was thinking it.
The truth is, I was determined that day would be the day. As sleep seduced me last night, I thought, tomorrow, for once, I shall not oversleep. I'll rise early and be present in court to support my companions.
Sherlock Sholmes, really? Yeah, they had to get around copyright. Oh, I have to move my camera. The Sherlock Holmes estate, the Conan Doyle estate, wouldn't let this game release in the West if his name was not changed, so it was. Alright, he said something there.
The spirited determination is a beauty all of its own, does it not?
Oh, yes.
And then I began to muse on the subject.
Talk about petty? Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Why do people oversleep, I queried. Why, time after time, do they make the same foolish blunder? And the answer came to me at once. It's so delightfully simple. People oversleep because they sleep. Well, is that not an astute insight into the matter?
Hey, Freelance, when you add new players to your campaign, do you ask everyone else first or you just do it? I typically ask, like, hey, I have someone who wants to join. I've never had that be an issue ever, but it's just to let people know that there's going to be someone new.
Oh, yes.
Upon which realization, I attempted an experiment. I didn't sleep a wink all night. And the results? By first light, I was exhausted and began to be assailed by fits of drowsiness.
Shocking.
And so the conclusion of last night's experiments is this. A good night's sleep is quite simply essential.
Yes, I think most of us probably knew that already. Cool if I shoot an invite to one of my Twitter friends? Sure.
What others presuppose I prove by experimentation? That, my dear fellow, is the scientific method. Ah, yes, and one more thing. Do you remember this?
Ah,
Yes, of course. It's the poison that Miss Green was about to drink at the hospital yesterday. Oh, you didn't manage to...
It was a laborious task, as the bottle was near empty, but such inconveniences do not hinder Sholmes. I managed to confirm that it contained strychnine.
So I was right.
Perhaps, though of course such circumstantial evidence doesn't prove Miss Green's guilt. I shall leave the bottle in your care now, but licking the inside of the neck is not recommended.
Alright. Good to know. I have to examine that. Whoa, I have no fucking idea who this could be. Oh, it's this guy.
Gregson, how good of you to come.
Forget it. Excuse me. Wait a minute, Inspector. Yeah, that would have been my response. I don't wish to make a nuisance of myself. From the look on your face, I'd say it's someone else you think is making a nuisance of himself.
My dear Inspector, please speak freely. Pretend that I'm not here.
Believe me, if I could do that, life would be a whole lot simpler for me.
Do you have the results, Inspector, of the investigation in Mr. Shamspeare's room?
Not yet. Shouldn't be long now, though. No, I'm here about something else. That dead convict, actually. Oh, you mean the man from this newspaper article we discovered yesterday in Mr. Shamspeare's room?
A man by the name of, yes, Selden.
I went through the archives at the yard and dug out the fella's file. There's something in there that, well, it caught my eye.
Something caught your eye? What, Inspector? What?
I copied out the relevant parts for you, so you can read it for yourselves. Thank you. Capital Offenders File. Okay.
These documents include the details that were in the newspaper cutting we found in Mr. Shamspeare's room. I'll rearrange everything in the court record so we don't have duplicate information.
Oh, that's nice of them. Why are you giving us a copy of this important file, though? Well, you're the ones who turned up the clue in the first place, aren't you? I'm just making sure things get handled in the proper fashion.
Oh, Scotland Yard's workings are so wonderful.
Indeed, my dear fellows, and the Inspector here's a shining diamond in its crown.
A shining diamond in the rough, maybe. Look, I just don't want to be beholden to a lawyer, that's all. Alright, we have that now. Let me take a look at those real fast. Does it have anything on it in particular? Nope. Alright. This is the poison we've been hearing so much about. Strychnine. There were a few remnants on the bottom of the bottle here, though. Look.
Mustn't be tempted to try it.
Of course not. As long as we don't lose this trial.
No, even if we lose the trial. No, we mustn't lose the trial in the first place, Mr. Naruhodo.
Make your mind up, Susato-san. Alright. Let's see this. Investigative findings related to Selden. 18 counts of burglary, 6 counts of suspected murder. Jesus. Died of natural causes whilst in prison. His final moments witnessed only by his cellmate. Estimated 1,000 pounds worth of loot he stole remains unrecovered. Manchester Strangeways Prison announced the death of convicted murderer and burglar Selden by natural causes in the early hour of this morning. Been suffering with fever since the end of October. Alerted by the shouts of his fellow cellmate, medical staff arrived to find him already dead before his capital punishment could be carried out. Okay, this bit of the One Piece, that's probably going to be important. That's probably what Shamspeare's after, if I had to guess. I don't know how it plays into this, but we'll find out. I miss Detective. Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Court proceedings are about to resume. Make your way into the courtroom at once.
Well, I shall leave you then. I'll be listening with interest from the public gallery. Not nodding off at all, certainly not.
Thank you, Mr. Sholmes.
I'm rather tired of seeing Mr. Mustache in floods of tears, personally, so the best of luck to you.
Welcome, student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Yes, Mr. Natsume? It's time, isn't it? Yes, this is it. Miss Olive Green and Mr. William Shamspeare. This is going to be the final battle. This is the final battle. I won't really have saved Soseki-san until I've exposed the whole truth of everything that's been going on. It's all coming to a head now. You can do it, Ryunosuke. You have to. My schedule on, I have 2 classes in the same classroom on different days. That'll happen sometimes. 23rd of February, 12:30 p.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. Excuse me.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again now. Before the recess, we heard a most startling accusation from the defense.
I had to find the voice.
Namely, that the victim of the case we heard here only a few days ago is the true perpetrator of this incident. A reckless, rash, and prejudiced charge of wrongdoing in my opinion, my lord. However, the prosecution has tried to extend every courtesy to this amateur newcomer from dubious eastern shores.
Thank you for that backhanded consideration.
A cold assessment from the honorable British prosecutor, I must say. So, Lord Van Zeeks, is the new witness present and ready to take the stand?
No. Ready and waiting in the witness's antechamber, my lord.
Very well. Bailiff, bring the witnesses in.
Witnesses? Oh, right, this guy. Why did you give her an easel? Why did you let her bring one?
Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court, please.
Ugh, Christ.
William Shamspeare, my liege. For mine occupation, I can say only that I be a tragic victim to be pitied.
Currently unemployed, in other words.
I am Olaf Green. I'm a fledgling artist. Well, no, not a fledgling, really. A hopeless failure, too weak-spirited to admit she has no talent, I suppose.
Also currently unemployed, in other words. Okay.
What a coterie.
Mr. Shamspeare.
My lord, I am thy humble servant.
I'm afraid that you are no longer merely the victim in this affair. A possibility has been raised that you are in fact the assailant, intent on taking the life of your fellow lodger. The part you have played in this whole business will be thoroughly scrutinized, I assure you.
I would for not...
Fucking Shakespearean talk.
I would for not else, my lord.
And Miss Green,
Yes?
you are aware of the reason you have been summoned to this courtroom today, I presume?
Yes, the officer did explain.
Oh.
He said I poisoned this ridiculous buffoon.
And? Do you accept the charge, Miss Green?
I don't know anything about any poisoning. And I don't know anything about this man. Come, lady, die to live. Verily, I know not thy prickly pea-pigmented personage.
Very well, let us proceed with the matter at hand. That being to ascertain whether or not Miss Green has any involvement in this affair.
What'd you miss? Not much. We're introducing the witnesses again. We also get a weird document about the guy who died. Fucking Selden. That Chinese food was very good, but it's gumming up my mouth, making it hard to talk.
It's all very strange indeed. Why would you suspect me?
You have a bowl of cheese goop with some shell-shaped pasta. Combined, I hope.
I barely ever go to the East End anyway. It so happens that I passed by that neighborhood 6 days ago, that's all. And on the night that this man was poisoned, I was still in the hospital fighting for my life.
Came out of a box, all of it. Oh, did you make some KD? Some Kraft mac and cheese? Hell yeah. AKA Yellow Death, as I like to call it, because it's almost certainly killing me.
Yes, having been unfortunately caught up in the incident on the street outside the Gerudup household. An incident that rendered you unconscious for some 3 days.
Blue box goop, yeah. I love KD. It's not good for you. It's more like a military ration than anything else. If it wasn't killing you, you wouldn't be alive.
I was struck in the middle of my back by a knife, through no fault of my own, and now I'm under suspicion. What other irrelevant things might I be suspected of? It's all very disturbing.
Oranges may be better spent worrying about random knife attacks, I fear, Miss Green.
At this point in time, all that appears to connect you with Mr. Shamspeare's lodgings is the Briar Road incident of 6 days ago. The sun kills you, you also literally need it to live. That is also true. That's why We would like you to testify formally now about exactly what happened.
Oh no! The incident 6 days ago? Oh, you mean you want me to relive that awful incident?
Unfortunately, yes. Please tell the court what happened that day. And of course, we will be interested to hear from you about your movements that day too, Mr. Shamspear.
Eh? But what happened 6 days ago has nothing to do with me being poisoned.
Let's proceed then. The witnesses will now present their formal testimony to the court on the subject of the incident that took place on Briar Road the evening of the 17th of February.
Only thing that makes me move is my endless horny. Yeah, what about the other name? The evening of 17th of February.
It was 6 days ago at about 5 p.m. I was walking along in the snow when I was suddenly stabbed in the back. Coincidentally...
Oh, you shouldn't do that. You get paint on your face. You goober?
Coincidentally, it happened to be just outside the house where the men in this case have their lodgings. I was at a tavern on the eve of which thou speakest, for I had bespoke my supper.
Yep, I said that right.
It was the first time I'd been in the area. I had a little matter to attend to, that's all. Anyway, I was admitted straight to the hospital, so I knew nothing about all this business.
Is she going to turn that painting around at a dramatic moment during the trial? And it's going to be like some piece of evidence?
Yes, a second incident inside a week at what I believe to be aptly described as the haunted lodgings. One can only presume this is a most unfortunate coincidence.
Meanwhile, you say you were not in your room, Mr. Shamspear.
It was the following morn when I did awaken that I learned of the dire events. Mary, what a commotion did the officers of the law make on the floor above mine.
Sasaki-san was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder. Her painting's gonna be part of her meltdown? Oh yeah, that's very possible. As suspected, there was nothing connecting these two witnesses but happenstance. It's true, it does seem as though they're unrelated at first glance, but I'm not so sure. There's something lurking in the shadows here. I feel certain of it. And this is my one and only chance to expose it.
Counsel, you may now cross-examine these two witnesses if you wish.
Yes, my lord. Alright. Let's see here. What we press. 6 days ago, about 5 p.m. Suddenly stabbed in the back. Happened to be just outside the house where the men in this case have their lodgings. So I think the thing to press on is the matter she was attending to. Two types of face attorneys players. It's going to be evidence that it's going to be a meltdown. Sounds about right. Yeah, toaster fucking... I love KD mac and cheese. I don't have it often because I know it's unhealthy. I don't know that for sure, but I feel it is greatly unhealthy. It also doesn't digest. So every time I eat it, it's like I'm not going to eat anything for the next 8 hours because it's not going anywhere. But I fucking love that shit, man. It's great. Had a little matter to attend to, that's all. Let's press that. What little matter, Miss Green? Please elaborate.
It was nothing really, it's not worth mentioning.
If you remember, you mentioned it to us yesterday at the hospital.
Ah.
It was related to the card you were holding. Good macaroni salad recipe, and that's where all my macaroni goes to. The shells are 3 cheese goop as opposed to the normal cheese flavored goop being normal cheese flavored. Oh, I haven't had that one. We always just get the standard. Miss Green! What was that? She clearly just hid something behind her back. From memory, I believe the card contained a note that read, I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross.
Well, what does that matter? This has nothing to do with Duncan.
Wrong.
Excuse me.
Wrong. Wrong. Ow. Mr. Shamspear, do you have something to share with the court?
To be or not to be, that is the question. Ah, pray forgive me, the great bard's word springeth from within me with ne'er a thought.
Don't tell me. Because you're possessed by Shakespeare's spirit, right? Hearing Miss Green's words a moment ago seemed to make you think of something. Something of relevance, perhaps?
I fucking killed him. I killed Duncan Ross by sucking his gas pipe. The gas pipe, not his gas pipe. I didn't suck anything of Duncan's, except for the gas pipe, which is not an innuendo. Oh, well, nay, sire, it was nothing at all.
Presumably you know the name, though. Mr. Duncan Ross, I mean. After all, you were both lodgers in the same house.
I would it were so, but sadly, nay. Lodging be a lonely occupation, sire. My lodging fellows be rarely known to me.
So you haven't heard of him, even though he passed away in the room just one floor above yours.
Miss Green. Me, my lord? Have I done something wrong? A card that was mentioned before, containing the note. Do you have it upon your person? I do. I do, yes, but I don't need it anymore. In fact, I should throw it away, really. Before you dispose of it, the court will take it as evidence, please.
Okay, let's take a look at that. Of course, that's what links Mr. Shamspeare and Miss Green. It's Duncan Ross.
Now, continue with your testimony, please, Miss Green.
Alright, well, let's take a look at that. Is this the point where we can, where we can match the top of the letter? The envelope has been ripped open rather carelessly, hasn't it? The screen strikes me as the type to open correspondence more neatly than that. Ah!
What is it?
The way the envelope is torn, I'm almost sure I've seen that exact same shape somewhere else.
Oh, you don't mean... Were you thinking of this piece of evidence, Mr. Naruto?
Exactly, that's it. Try to match them up.
They go together perfectly. This torn off end of the envelope clearly belongs with this card.
Bingo. This hole was made for me. It's my hole. Okay. Look at anything else? Yep. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's the Fault of Amikara, I think, is the name. Little short story horror manga. Okay, so that's good. We have that now. The Enigma of Amigara Fault. That's it. I was close. Okay. Junji Ito is apparently a very happy person who likes cats. Yeah, there's actually a slice of life manga about his just day-to-day life and like him and his wife and his cat. But it's like, it's really happy slice of life, but it's drawn in Junji Ito's style, so it's like weirdly horrific. I read a couple chapters of it. It was pretty funny. Let's press this. What were you doing there that day, though?
What do you mean?
The art school you attend, what's it called?
Ah, yes, it's the Thorndike Academy of Fine Arts. According to Mr. Sholmes, that's just in the vicinity of Brixton Road, which is some 10 stops away from the scene on the underground.
I believe you mentioned before that you also live on Brixton Road. Isn't that right? So why then would you have been walking along Briar Road in the middle of the East End?
Well, it's because, yes, of course, I thought it might make a nice picture.
The witness is a student of art. City-dwelling artists can't all paint grand urban vistas.
That's right. I happen to like the crumbling look of that part of town. Perhaps quaint would have been a less grating term.
Check DMs eventually, I see what you mean. Yep. This is exactly what I'm talking about. The way he draws himself and his wife, too. Like his classic style. The point is, she's definitely hiding something. Excuse me.
Don't fucking impersonate me. How dare you? Yes, it seems she's not going to be forthcoming with the truth.
She's trying to hide why she was there that evening. It must mean there's a reason for her not wanting us to know. That's the key to this. And you, Mr. Shamspear, on the evening of the incident 6 days ago, would you tell the court what exactly you were doing?
It would be my pleasure, sire.
Alright, let's see what this... Hold it! Suck this cheese goop out of a man. Wow, what a jump. Waffle, it's all you, man. That's a fucking straight up underhand throw right to you. A tavern, you say? Which one?
It was the Sluggin's Hallowed where I did tarry. 'Tis a jewel in the East End.
And a little unexpected, I feel. Not in a horny way. Well, it won't be horny for you, but it'll probably be horny for the other guy. What do you mean, Lord Van Zieks? The Sluggan Salad offers unusually fine dining, for the locality at least. Not an establishment you'd expect to be patronized by a man with not even a crumb of bread in his room.
It's true. The menu lists premium crusts of bread and glasses of water in different levels of cloudiness.
Oh, God. Yeah, can I get your mildly cloudy water? Yeah, if you could pull it right from the like bottom of the sink, that'd be great. Like when you're just done with the dishes, just pour it into a glass and I'll toss it back. I would have expected Grubb's Grubbery in the local vicinity to be more appropriate for your meals. Watery soup and mushy peas, or rather soupy water and pea-like mush. All equally appetizing.
I just wanted to try some water at a different pub for once. What's wrong with that?
Was this originally...
Yeah, well, what is the limestone content of your water? No less than 70%, sir.
Perfect, I'll take 3. I'm pretty sure this was supposed to be alcohol in the original, and then they censored it for the Western release. Because I don't think they typically mention alcohol in Ace Attorney. Because otherwise it has to get an M rating or something. Well, no, I don't think so. Yeah, grape juice. You remember from fucking Apollo Justice. Phoenix and his grape juice. I guess they just went with water for this one. How different can water really be?
Or perhaps there's a more plausible explanation. A specific reason why he had to go to that particular establishment.
Agreed. The fact that on that day of all days he dined at a place he wouldn't normally, it does stand out. It's more than Apollo Justice? I didn't play Apollo Justice, but there were still grape juice references. Was it before Apollo Justice? I'm trying to think. Oh, it might have been the restaurant case in Trials and Tribulations with the French chef. They might have mentioned grape juice there. Stand a reminder there was grape juice in the original Japanese version too, so the censorship happened at the initial writing stage, if at all. Oh. Okay. Weird. I mean, yeah, I guess maybe they wanted to keep it, like, lighthearted, but it's also a game that is exclusively about murder? So... I don't know. Oh yeah, probably in the Edgeworth game. I never finished Investigations 1. I want to go and play Investigations 2 at some point, but... I'm not really a big fan of Investigations 1. So I think I'm just going to read, like, a summary of what happened, and then play 2. Turnabout's storyteller features strong themes of alcohol. An alcoholic underage in the English version, drinking alcohol played a vital aspect in the aspect of the murder, and the scene involves the player getting a witness drunk to prove a point to the court. This came about partly to dispel the misconception that the series was censoring alcohol. This is a misconception that came about due to the frequent use of grape juice within previous titles. From Spirit of Justice. Yeah, I seem to recall one of the games had straight up alcohol in it, and I was confused because I thought it was always censored. But you're right. What case was that? Was that the Rakugo case? The one with fucking clown titties. Yeah, because it must not be a censorship thing. Jesus. Huh. I always thought it was censorship. Yeah, the Clussy case. You know what I'm talking about. I think it was that one. It is apparently the Clussy case. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, well, fucking mystery solved. I guess they just wanted it to be grape juice. And cloudy water. Fucking gross. Mr. Shamspeare's own actions on the day of the incident 6 days ago were slightly suspicious. I wonder if we have some evidence that can explain those actions. I think we can present the thing now. Because we have that, that letter, and it was found in his room. The freaky fucker that looks like a yin-yang Mustang crossed with a shitty bird. Oh, fucking, oh, what's his name? I know who you're talking about. It's the prosecutor in, Dual Destinies. Simon? Yeah, Simon Blackquill, that's it. I like his character. I hate his theme. I think his theme blows. Mr. Shamspeare. Yes, sire? On the day in question, is it not the case that you visited the Slug and Salad, a place you don't normally patronize, for a very particular reason? I didn't know what you were talking about. Pray, if thou hast some purpose, speakest. Ah, very well. I will present the court with evidence. Evidence that explains why you had to be at the Slug and Salad that day. Namely, I think because they were meeting to hand this off? Or something?
Take that!
Nope, I was too early. Oh, never mind. The music didn't end right away, and it usually does, so I thought it was fucked. I want a game where you play as Van Zieks. Just gonna make a Castlevania joke, but he'd be the villain there. Yeah, I mean, Alucard is the protagonist for some of them, and he's pretty edgy. I believe this card reveals the answer.
Good lord, Miss Green's card, you mean?
That's right, my lord. It reads, I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. It's a vampire joke, so Alucard would fit. Yeah, exactly. Dig Gumshoe game, but it's a homeless sim? Oh, God. Too real. You can only slash that man's salary so many times before he's just homeless. And it makes me sad. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on 17th. Oh, is that what it said? Was there a way to fucking check that? How the fuck were we supposed to know it said that? Oh, well, alright then. I guess we had to remember. I was going on a completely different logic, but it works out. Picking the card itself instead of the envelope. I tried that. It's only one investigation thing. As you can see, it's the same thing. It's like, does it match up? Yeah. It's just saying, hey, they fit together. Which is weird. You think you'd be able to read it, but whatever. Yeah, all according to Keikaku. Keikaku means plan. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. Mr. Shamspeare, your actions on the afternoon of Miss Green's stabbing are exactly as described in this note. That's goofy. Yeah, it is weird. I don't know why they don't let you read it. Ah. Personally, I find it hard to believe that's a coincidence. Don't you, Mr. Shamspeare?
Well... Excuse me. Can I say something?
Yes, Miss Green?
That card was delivered to me. It doesn't have anything to do with this old man, does it?
Well, you think so, yes. But it's hard to believe that it's merely...
My lord, may I?
Are you what, Miss Green?
I'd like to make something very clear about this card. Very well then, you may amend your testimony to include details about the peculiar note.
This note was delivered to me at my address. It's nothing to do with the odd man next to me here.
I can just straight up present the other end of that and go wrong.
Objection!
Yeah, that's the easy one. The day before the incident, exactly 1 week ago now, this note was delivered to your address. And upon carrying out the instructions in the note, you found yourself in hospital. How'd I know that? I'm just fucking built different, dude.
Yes, I did. It's terrible, everything that's happened to me.
Yes, it is terrible. If it's all true, that is.
What do you mean?
Miss Green, have a look at this, please. It's the torn off end of an envelope.
Oh, is it?
And it so happens that it fits together perfectly with the envelope of the note you received.
Where'd you find that?
In Mr. Shamspeare's room.
Eh? In my room?
Mr. Shamspeare, do you perhaps remember this note from somewhere?
Oh, well...
Your actions that afternoon follow the instructions in the note to the letter. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on 17th. And so that's exactly where you went. Let me ask you again, Mr. Shamspeare. His face is so punchable, I know. Especially his, like, his idle one, where he's just kind of like this, and he's smiling. Oh, God. I would lay that motherfucker out. You already knew about this note, didn't you? Where are you looking? And you, Miss Green.
Oh, what did I do?
As this torn off end of the envelope proves, the note was originally in Mr. Shamspeare's room. So how is it that it came to be in your possession? I described too many people as punchable. I'm punchable. Hey, a lot of people are punchable.
I don't have the first idea. I'm just a flittering artist, after all.
There's only one explanation! You broke into Mr. Shamspeare's room and stole it! You did what? Sorry, thou hast what? You broke? I mean, thou were in my room? What on earth do you want with me?
It would seem that both witnesses need to testify again.
Green X Shamspeare, that's cursed. Miss Green.
Yes?
Whilst you have the court's sympathy, I'm sure, for the suffering you have endured in recent events, anyone found to be giving false testimony in a court of law will be duly punished. Please bear that in mind. I'm going to come over there and spank you with my yowie paddle. Oh, that's new.
Yes, I know.
What is that on the back of her head? It's like some sort of pin, but it looks like it's maybe part? It's like something important? Since what if I say things that aren't cursed? Like 50% of the time.
Very well then, witnesses, you will give your formal testimony again now. On the subject of this curious anomaly regarding the note Miss Green claims to have received.
Alright. The anomaly of the note.
I do remember now, 'twas a week ago, peradventure, the note was delivered unto me. On the day of it there, I did tarry along out at the Slug and Salad, yet nobody came. Thereafter, on the evening, I shared the company of the Japanese fellow, and I did see the note had vanished. I don't know what you mean. You think I snuck into this man's room, do you? Why would I? I can point out the villain here, and as for that torn-off piece of the envelope, I don't know anything about it.
Alright.
You now claim to have received this letter, do you, Mr. Shamspeare?
Ah, this is the fucking face. Look at that smile. God, I just want those fucking... I want to put a gap in those teeth.
Faith 'tis so, my lord, and I would swear to have it set upon the table in my humble lodgings. Yet 'tis clear that now I since returned from the tavern that night I have not laid eyes upon it.
His teeth are fake. They are very, very like flat and one piece.
Well, that being the case, young lady, it would appear that your testimony was a lie. Is that what you think? How unfair of you to think that I'm the one lying.
What's the term, veneer? Yeah, kind of like a veneer.
I beg your pardon? I'm just a fledgling artist, as I said, and fledgling artists don't lie. That's the rule. If you lie, you get shot at the back. They just do it in the middle of the hallway. It's fucked up. That note was delivered to me at my address. And besides, we all know who the liar around here is.
If that's true, Miss Green, how do you explain the facts? The part of the envelope was, without question, found in Mr.
I don't see why I should explain.
Sorry?
I'm a fledgling artist. My job here is just to say what happened, that's all. It's your job to give the explanations and the proofs. You, the fledgling lawyer.
The fledgling will do his best. Evidently, my learned friend's cross-examination is our only hope of learning the truth.
Counsel?
I'm ready, my lord.
Very well, then. The defense will now proceed with the cross-examination of the witnesses.
Miss Green clearly did break into Mr. Shakespeare's room. There can be no question of that. And that's how she acquired the note.
Yes, two facts that are starting to lead me to a possible explanation for all of this. And it's not a pretty one. Yeah, Van Zeeks is kind of... He's at the point where it's just like, alright, this is like, you two are a lot. I just want you to go away, fucking defense takeover. I'm gonna get fucked up over here. Anyone needs me, I'll be deep in my cups. Alright. Terry long hour with the second salad. Nobody came. Therefore, okay. Did see the note had vanished. Guy snuck into this man's room, do you? Why would I? I think we might have to present Duncan Ross's name there. I did not bring enough wine for this case. I'm on my 19th bottle. I think her head is a bit more visible from her painting animation. You want to get a better look at that? I'll keep that in mind. I think this note was actually delivered to Mr. Shakespeare but 1 week ago. Yeah, the reason it stands out to me is because it's got detail on it. Right? Like, it's very clearly got something on it. Is that the Eiffel Tower? It might be the Eiffel Tower now that I look at it. Which might come up? I don't know. Anyways. Yeah, the fact that it's got that much detail on it compared to like the rest of her character model makes me think it's going to come off at some point, but I don't know for sure.
Oh, does it?
But for some reason, it ended up in your possession. I can't think of any way that could have happened except for you breaking into Mr. Shakespeare's logic.
Objection!
Oh, an easel? It could be an easel. It's hard to say. But for what reason would the witness have done that? I won't deny that Miss Green's possession of the note would appear to defy logic. However, until and unless her involvement in this case can be proven in some other way, any further pursuit of this note is meaningless.
Miss Green could only have come to be in possession of the note by stealing it from Mr. Shakespeare's room.
Yeah, easel also makes a lot more sense. The Eiffel Tower doesn't make sense because she's fucking British. All fledgling artists come from France. They just spawn out of the sewer system and just walk out.
And yet there's no obvious reason why she would have done such a thing.
What if there was some other reason she broke into his lodgings, though?
Yes, we should pursue that idea, Mr. Naruhodo.
We're close now. I can feel it. We're so close to a breakthrough. Okay. Let's check to see this here. Who had that picture This picture right here. This one. Was found in Mr. Shamster's room. Maybe she went in for this. I mean, this is pretty plausible. She knew that he had this picture and she wanted it, and so she broke in to get it and then found the note. We got 5 lives. Let's just fucking send one out.
Objection!
Nope. The witness's last statement is clearly contradictory when he consider this piece of evidence here. Yes, undeniably.
So it's undeniable. Contradiction at all.
Fuck. I think perhaps that itself is the contradiction.
Indeed. It's fucked.
Alright, it's not that. Alright, let's try the last one, just in case.
Hold it!
So you don't want to tell the court the truth about the letter, is that it?
I'm a fledgling artist, remember? Artists are nearly always introverted characters. Introverted? Fie, this fledgling doth readily cast aspersions about my nature. Yet I am an angel, a seraph. Birds do harmonize with my song, the wind doth frolic on my wing. Oh, pity, wherefore dost thou accuse one so pure of heart, ample woman?
Just call her fat? What the fuck? I hate how close this is to a floss. It's disturbing, actually.
Pure of heart? I don't think so. Even a fledgling like me can see you're just a failure.
Tragedy, thou shalt know the true heart of an artist until thine instruction hereafter by death. Oh, the days, oh, the years. Alas, to enlighten thee, thou must wait so long and in vain.
Mr. Naruto, interject with some clever remark. This is your chance to shine.
Shakespeare clearly twisted towers. #1 victory royale. Yeah, Fortnite, we bout to get down. I'm no Shakespearean actor, Mr. Sato. Now, as far as I can tell, the only thing that's going to resolve this argument
is evidence. Yes.
Right.
It's clear that Miss Green did in fact break into Mr. Shampier's room, isn't it? And that's where she found this letter.
Yes, 2 more or less foregone conclusions that lead me to one terrifying conclusion.
Terrifying?
Yes, I'm afraid to say. But the outcome of this cross-examination may well change how we look at this case completely. Alright, let's just press everything.
Hold it!
And can you shed any light on the contents of the note at all?
Nay, sire, 'tis as strange to me as a foreign tongue. Even with a knowledge of literature as great as my own, verily 'tis impenetrable.
Well, Mr. Duncan Ross had lodgings in the same household as you. And in fact, he was your neighbor, so surely you knew him, didn't you?
Alack, if the choice betwixt I knew him and I knew him not, then 'tis with foreboding that I be forced to declare we were by some small measure acquainted.
Despite your claims, though, you followed the note's instructions and went to the Slug and Salad. Presumably, that was nothing to do with your knowledge of literature.
Many not will live the better of me, sire, save for the lure of curiosity. So 'tis true I was compelled by mine own eager heart to betake myself to the tavern. But in the end, my curiosity was not satiated.
Okay.
Hold it!
Explain. So even after waiting for an hour, nobody appeared.
Well, yes, sire, 'tis as thou sayest.
Really? You paused for a moment before you answered.
In truth, when thou asked whether nobody appeared, I did suddenly recall.
Really? Do you mean to tell the court that somebody did appear after all?
I was not alone that night at the Slug and Salad, my lord, no. 'Tis returning to me now. I did treat my lips to almost clear water, and mine innards to a premium crust of bread. And all around me danced a great many companions.
What do you mean?
Flies, sire, flies.
Good Lord.
In the name of Beelzebub, what were they? Fairies, perchance, from a midsummer's night dream, come to taunt me.
I think they were just flies.
I can't help thinking that the flies ought to choose something more wholesome to buzz around. Is that wrong of me?
Alright. Note had vanished. Explain! When exactly did you notice it had gone missing?
Such idle thoughts ne'er occupy my mind. I am busied with greater ideas.
In other words, you didn't notice. They're in the right place, right around a piece of shit. I'm not arguing. Several days passed between your outing to the tavern and Mr. Natsume's visit to your room.
Yes, it would appear that the note disappeared sometime in that interval.
Such idle thoughts ne'er occupy my mind. I am busied with greater ideas.
And yet, during that time, Miss Green was comatose in hospital, was she not? In the end, she could not have been stealing things from Mr. Shamspeare's room.
Ah, yes, of course. It's all some sort of misunderstanding, isn't it, Mr. Prosecutor, sir?
Sorry, I wasn't listening. You have so far failed to give a satisfactory explanation as to how you came by the note.
Ah,
I am not here to advocate for your defense, madam. I won't tolerate inconsistencies in your story. You would do well to remember that.
oh dear me.
What's Lord Van Zeke's getting at? Everyone's calling her an ample woman. What evidence do we have here? I wanted to say it's this picture, but... because it was found in his room. Unless it's this bottle of poison. Let's drop a confidence save. A save to show just how confident I am in what I'm doing. Yeah, I think maybe this is the point where we have to accuse her of poisoning him. Maybe? I don't know. I think it's definitely something I have to present here. Just I don't know what. We can try. We have a save.
Objection!
Hey, that was it. Yesterday at the hospital, we saw you with this bottle. And though the contents spilt during the course of our meeting, a small quantity remained. Ah. Clicky clicky. According to the defense's independent analysis, Mr. Sholmes' chemistry set. Can you get a dog clicker for your newfound ASMR career? I could. Tell you what, you donate the money, I'll buy one. The liquid that was still in the bottle was identified as strychnine. What? Strychnine? The very same poison that afflicted Mr. Shamspeare. Ah! Miss Green, you broke into this man's lodgings for one reason and one reason alone. To cover the end of the pipe that feeds the gas lamp in Mr. Shamspeare's room with poison. Or probably $2, I'm already subscribed. Maybe.
Can this be?
You broke into my room, too.
It may seem incredible to the court. From the remaining clues, there is only one logical conclusion that we can reach. I gotta stop doing that. The person who attempted to take Mr. Shamspeare's life with poison was you, Miss Olive Green.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dearie, me!
Oh, fuck. Wow, fucking full ass of a tea kettle.
Order! Order! Counsel, are you seriously suggesting this woman put poison on the end of the gas pipe with intent to kill?
Yes, my lord. There's no other way to explain the facts.
But if Miss Green did indeed set this odious trap 6 days ago now, then the victim had put his mouth through the pipe that very evening as expected. The attempted murder would have happened 6 days ago, surely.
Well, that's a very good point. Perhaps not, my lord.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, he's arguing on my behalf? There was a significant police presence in the area that evening on account of the incident on Briar Road. Local residents were being interviewed throughout the night as part of the ongoing inquiry. A circumspect criminal would likely have chosen not to carry out any wrongdoing at that time. Lord Van Zeeks?
And of course, the following morning, there was more activity at Mr. Shamspeare's address.
More activity? Ah, yes! You mean this fellow lodger, Mr. Natsume, being arrested on suspicion of murder?
That's right. And as the defense has already proposed, Mr. Shamspeare was meddling with the gas in the pipe for a very sinister reason himself. To cause the gas stove in Mr. Natsume's room to go out, thereby asphyxiating the occupant.
And Zeeks has a sense of justice and care for the law. It turns out the defendant isn't the murderer. I think he'd want the real murderer to go down. That seems to be a running theme with prosecutors. At least the ones that stick around is like that was the case with Edgeworth. Eventually, it got to that point. That was the case with well, actually, did Francesca ever get to that point? I feel like she always kind of had that. She was just kind of an asshole. Godot. Well, Godot's kind of a special case for spoiler reasons. Black Quill for sure. What's the fucking prosecutor from Apollo Justice? I remember jack shit about Apollo Justice because I didn't like it. Yeah, Black Quill was a homie. He was cool. He was only trying to cover up a murder one time. And it was for a good reason. Yeah, the Rockstar guy. Gavin, I think, maybe? Clavier Gavin, that's what it is. Yeah, he sucks. He's a terrible, terrible fucking, character. He also gets, like, way too much box art, like, space on the Dual Destinies cover. He's in it for, like, one cameo scene, and he gets, like, a sixth of the box art for some fucking reason. It's bizarre. And then there's, what's his nuts from Spirit of Justice, who I also didn't like. Edgeworth wears glasses, what a nerd. He's an aged man. He's in like his 40s by, Dual Destinies. His 40s? 30s maybe. Late 30s. But once Mr. Natsume had been arrested, his room was under constant surveillance by the police. I like Godot's character in the Will Reading skit, if you know what I'm talking about. I don't think I do. In the circumstances, Mr. Shamspeare had no reason to blow air into the gas pipe. His intended victim being in a prison cell. With the need to tamper with the gas removed, the poison in the pipe lay dormant.
And then, 3 days ago now, the situation changed again.
Spirit of Justice wasn't great, to be honest. It's like middle of the road. It was okay. It was better than Apollo Justice by a long shot. I think it was all right. Not their best, but not their worst. Right, so Mr. Natsume's trial, which took place here at the Old Bailey, came to an end.
Trial in which the man stood accused of stabbing Miss Green in the back, but was duly acquitted.
That resulted in Mr. Natsume returning to his lodgings for the first time in 2 days. And that very night, his gas stove mysteriously won out, and Mr. Shamspeare was mysteriously poisoned. Send it in memes. I'll check it out later. In conclusion, the poison that was present on the mouth of the gas pipe had been put there in the victim's room some 4 days earlier. Maddie! Why do I keep doing it? With that new understanding, it becomes clear that this letter was all part of the plan.
What plan?
The coroner will recall that the note gave instructions to visit the Slug and Salad at 5 o'clock. Yeah, she's standing on a full-ass crate. She's so tiny. And that the recipient should tell nobody else. The reason for those instructions are now clear. To ensure that the lodger would not be at home by the stated time. To make sure I wasn't home? Exactly. While you were out, Miss Green could safely slip into your room, knowing that she wouldn't be disturbed. You mean to say that letter was written by Miss Green? Yes. And in order to cover her tracks, she took it away with her when she left. Just after she smeared poison over the mouth of the gas pipe in your room.
Order! Order! What do you have to say for yourself, witness?
I feel like she's gonna have like a full other personality surface. Like, what's her nuts from Trials and Tribulations? Dahlia, no, I was gonna say Dahlia Margolis, but that's a fucking character from, Hitman 1. Dahlia something. That pin's absolutely the Eiffel Tower? Yeah, it looks like it. It's hard to tell the difference between an Eiffel Tower and an easel at the angles we're given. Could be either, but... Just who are you? Why did you try to kill me? Miss Green's motive should be obvious. It's all tied up with someone whose name we've heard several times already during the course of this trial. So, that's what's behind all this. The Eiffel Tower is easel-shaped. It's all coming full circle.
You will share your apparent understanding with the court, please, counsel. Which person is behind this woman's motive for the attack on the victim's life?
There you go.
Take that!
Duncan Ross.
That's right. Before the defendant, Mr. Natsume, took up residence in the lodgings at Mr. Garrideb's, somebody else was renting the room. Mr. Duncan Ross. I knew I'd heard the name somewhere else. It was all over the papers a month ago, when the man died in strange circumstances at the haunted lodgings.
That does ring a vague... Ah, of course, yes, I remember now. The young man they claimed was strangled by the convict's curse or some such.
Sadly, my lord, it wasn't a curse of any kind, nor was it an accident. The man died as a result of Mr. Shamspear blowing into the gas pipe and causing gas to leak into the room.
It was murder, plain and simple. Help.
Ah.
Well, what do you know? The world is so unfair. Curses, curious deaths, that's all people care about. If it's an interesting story, then they want to know. It doesn't cross their minds that real people are involved.
Wow, this is very real all of a sudden.
Once they're bored, just 1 month later, once the story's lost its appeal, everyone's forgotten him. You mean you? Duncan was...
Mr. Ross was Miss Green's fiancé.
Fiancé?
You may not have known until now who Miss Green really is, Mr. Shamspear. But she's known exactly who you are all along. Because you're her sworn enemy. The murderer who took the life of the man she was to marry.
Maddie!
Miss Green, is it not the case that in order to exact revenge on Mr. Shamspear, you smeared poison over the end of the gas pipe? Oh, that painting is empty.
Yes, this is all quite extraordinary. I correct in my understanding that you now accuse both parties, counsel, each on different counts of murder.
Deep breaths. Forget about your hand for a second. Yes, my lord. That's correct.
Objection!
Well, that's fuck you. God damn it. Inhaling so deeply, it appears that my fledgling learned friend
has taken in a lungful of dubious gas that's causing his judgment to be clouded.
There's no paint, that's how she's able to push the brush to her face with no paint coming off? Fucking, you're a better detective than me, man. Fucking, you should be playing this game. It makes perfect sense.
Why would Mr. Shakespeare have wanted to kill these lodgers, as you say? You have completely failed to provide a motive to substantiate your accusation against the man.
Yes, that's right, Mr. Reaper, my liege. I have been slighted. 'Tis lies, all lies. I deny every utterance. And you'll have to forgive me, Mr. Nodahodo, sir. But I don't intend to admit to anything either.
From Meltdown is going to be your drawing a fearful, injured Shakespeare or something. She just draws like yaoi porn and just shows that, and that's her meltdown. That'd be wild. Get out of there, the air is full of limestone. Miss Green!
I'm sure you think I'm being very rude, but I'm not going to be sent to the gallows for the likes of this scoundrel.
Protection.
Oh yeah, the death penalty is like always a thing. But you broke into the man's room! She draws Rinosuke and Sholmes kissing. Rinosuke's like, what the fuck? Please, stop her, kill her now! If you didn't do it to smear poison on the pipe, what was your reason?
I thought I'd have a look around, that's all.
Sorry?
All right, I suspected him. I thought perhaps I might find some evidence or something in his room. Evidence that it was him who took Duncan's life. Oh, villainous, oh, villainy, oh, tyranny, oh, rotundity of woman, you fat bitch! But in any case, when I leave my room, I do turn the key in the lock. That whole place is falling apart. The locks on the doors are no different. Duncan showed me how to unlock the door with some terps and a piece of wire. Oh, awfulness, oh, artfulness, oh, tyranny, oh, profanity of woman!
We will consider your trespassing on some future occasion, but for now, tell the court what you found, what evidence your research revealed.
The evidence that it was him, that he slurped poison from the gas pipe, just fucking...
Well, I spotted the note that I'd sent him lying on the floor. When I went to pick it up, I noticed something. One of the floorboards was loose, and underneath it, I discovered a secret hiding place.
Eh? Yes, we also discovered that hiding place.
Inside, we found a newspaper cutting, a photograph, and an empty tin box. Ah, yes. Well, the thing is, when I found it, the box wasn't empty.
What? There was something in it. Keep acting like you sucked instead of blue, but I think that was funnier. He was doing whippets with the light gas, yeah. I like to think that he sucked in it as well, because it is absolutely better. Just fucking got up there and...
Yes.
Oh, that key. Oh, shit.
This rather nice key.
Ah!
What? What are you doing with that?
What the?
Every ounce of color is drained from his face. Give it here. Give it to me now. It's mine. I inherited it.
What was that witness? What did you say? You inherited it.
No,
What's all this about? He inherited that key.
It was obviously important to you since you'd gone to such lengths to hide it. So I took it. Fuck you. I don't know what it's for, but you took something precious from me, so I took something precious from you. So what if it means you can't open something now? I don't care. Give it back this minute! Give it to me!
Calm yourself, witness.
So Mr. Shakespeare has tried and in one case succeeded to take the life of 2 lodgers now. Yes, his motive for doing so is the key to everything that's happened. I think I watched a raccoon scramble up from one of the pillars of my balcony and I don't know where it went. He fucking lives there now. Say hi to your new roommate. It's true that there appears to be no motive to support the accusation against Mr. Shakespeare at first. But considering everything we now know, I think there is actually something that could explain it. What? Ow. I need to recall every piece of evidence at our disposal. Everything we've seen and heard. because I'm sure that I just caught a glimpse of the link that runs through all of these events.
At case counsel, I must demand that you present evidence to the court in support of your claim. What is it that you say can explain the motivation for Mr. Shakespeare's alleged crimes?
I think it's this news, this off the file here. He's trying to find this this treasure. Maybe, I don't know. It's bigger than my cats and can climb pretty well. I mean, the raccoon's a good guess. I'm gonna go for it. Yep.
That's an official police report, is it not?
The Selden file. How did you get a hold of that?
Selden?
The now sadly deceased Mr. Ross and the defendant, Mr. Natsume, have only one thing linking them. The fact that they had lodgings in the same room.
Well, yes, we know this, certainly.
A room that was formerly occupied by Selden. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Until that is, he was arrested by Scotland Yard for his involvement in multiple burglaries.
I see.
Excuse me. And it so happens that the convict Selden left behind one very substantial mystery when he died. The some 1,000 pounds worth of loot that he stole, which as yet remains to be found.
Ah, yes, of course, it's coming back to me now. It's written in this file here. It's coming back to me because I'm reading it.
1,000 pounds lost en route to hell. That was how the papers summed it up. And it seems that one particular fellow inmate was with the convict in his final moments. It's not hard to imagine Selden entrusting that inmate with his most closely guarded secret, the location of the stolen loot, and perhaps a key to unlock whatever container the valuables were in.
Ah, well, I mean, this key is...
Mr. Shakespeare, it was you, wasn't it? You were at the capital offender's side when he died, were you not?
What are you talking about? It is a false charge, I tell you, a false charge.
I'll continue to lose 1,000 pounds on our way to hell. Ouch. The name of the inmate who was with Selden at his death isn't noted in this file, but a simple telegram to the prison where he died would quickly tell us how false the charge really is. Shouldn't talk like that, it's off-putting. You should be off-putting.
But even if it's true, why would the man be so intent on killing every subsequent occupant of the convicted's lodgings?
There's only one explanation for that, my lord.
It was in that very room that Selden hid his loot.
Please tell me you know about that? I don't. So, it all comes out. Yes, and having established that, all of Mr. Shakespeare's subsequent actions start to make perfect sense. When he was let out of his prison following Selden's death, he made immediately for Mr. Garrett's lodgings in the hope of renting Selden's old room. However, the retired army man was unable to offer him the accommodation of his choice, because Selden's old room had already been let to someone else, Mr. Duncan Ross.
Ah,
Between Two Ferns with the actress that played Katniss. Oh, Jennifer Lawrence. Whole time she's just railing at the guy for being fat. I gotta watch more Between Two Ferns. That show's funny. Which is why Mr. Shakespeare subsequently devised his gas-based plot to kill the occupant of the room. And when it was successful, he presumably intended to inquire about switching into the newly vacant room. However, a certain jittery someone had been beating him to it.
Mr. Soshiki Natsume, the defendant of this case, no less.
Yes, my lord. That's... yeah. Yeah. So you decided to use the ploy with the gas again, didn't you, Mr. Shakespeare? This time to oust Mr. Natsume.
Why do I keep doing that?
All for one simple and avaricious reason. To get your hands on the 1,000 pounds of loot left behind by the dead convict. Oh? Looks like I'm gonna snuff it before they get to... oh, this is Selden.
Mission I want you to have my loot. Anything to stop the coppers getting their mitts on it. It's hidden in the room where I was lodging when they got me. Here, this is the key to it. Take it. Always stay one step ahead, mate. See you in hell, I guess. Shamspear.
It's mine. What did he just say? It's mine. That loot is mine.
Whoa, okay. All right, it's about that time.
Wild. Mr. Shamspear? It's all lies. I don't accept any of it. Why should I? After all, you don't have a shred of evidence. You can't prove I killed that fellow. Forsooth, I'm the victim here, remember? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? If I don't admit to it, there's nothing you can do. You can arrest me for the time being, anyway. Melody, you can arrest the victim, can't you? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? I'm so close. I just need a few more hours. I swore to myself that I'd get my hands on it, and I can almost taste it now. Do you really think I just give up? There's no question in my mind now. The man is guilty through and through. Yeah, I'd fucking do it again. I forgot there was a jury. They haven't been featured in a while.
But he seems so utterly intoxicated by the idea of that loot. I'm afraid that however hard you press him, I'll never admit to what he's done, Mr. Naruto.
There is a way.
Pardon?
There's one way I can finish him.
No!
Fucking draws the sword. He's already committed the most heinous crimes to get his hands on that loot. Which means all we need to do is find it first. A fine plan. Were it not for the fact that the police thoroughly searched the room following the death of Mr. Ross. If it's there at all, it must be very well hidden indeed. I can finish him with this gun I found.
Ryunosuke, no!
Without conclusive evidence, I certainly cannot rule.
If only there was some way we could find the convict's loot quickly.
Hey, Holmes! I mean, Sholmes! Do me a favor, dude. We'll wait like 10 minutes. This is the final piece in this complex puzzle. But I think we might have it in our possession already. Or rather, I think we may well have something that can help us find where that loot is hidden. The fucking skin print gun. My lord. Yeah. Hey, honey. I mean, Holmes. The whole Sholmes. Herlock. That's what I meant. What?
Yes, counsel.
The defense would like to make a proposal about how to find the late convict's hidden loot. I believe we are already in possession of something that could give us a clue as to its whereabouts. It's our last chance, so it has to be worth a gamble. Besides, we've used the same technique once already, and it definitely paid off then.
Very well then, counsel. Let the court hear your idea. What do you propose we can use in order to locate the hiding place of the deceased convict's haul?
Oh, I have to present it? The photograph? The skin prints? This one?
Take that!
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, those are Mr. Shamspear's handprints on the wall of his lodgings.
That's right, my lord. Exposed as a result of the defense's independent investigation of the scene.
Based on a wonderful new discovery in the field of forensic science by the great detective, Mr. Sholmes. Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Sholmes. Oh, like Mr. Sholmes.
A great detective? Is that some kind of joke? Do you really think I'm going to be daunted by a man with such a ridiculous title?
I should think the great bard ought to recognize such a title when he hears one, Mr. Shamspear.
There he is.
Perhaps we should compete for the honor of most ridiculous title. Ah! 'Tis Sherlock Holmes himself!
What are you doing here, great detective? Your usual haunts are the filthy back streets of the capital, ridden with rats and other shit that you like to eat, you dirty, shit-eating, gross man. Fuck you, are they not?
Ah, Mr. Reaper, it's been too long.
I love your voice acted screams, thank you.
And I see your complexion has worsened since we last met.
Mr. Sholmes! We called you! He does know Lord Van Zieks, then. Well, enough to say something like that in any case.
Mr. Sholmes, though you may be held as a great detective by the population at large, that does not give you the right to come and go in my courtroom as you see fit.
If I may, my lord. Mr. Sholmes' newly developed scientific method has helped us uncover vital clues in this case already.
Who's you say?
I call them skin prints, my lord. My method identifies every location touched by an individual under scrutiny. It's the method by which we were able to ascertain this gentleman's gaspipe activities. Ah! You need only a small sample of something the individual has previously touched to make an indicator solution. In your case, sir, I used the teacup you had been holding. Elementary. So now, Mr. Naruhodo.
Ah, yes.
What am I to use as a sample to make the indicator solution this time?
Thank you for your offering to help, Mr. Sholmes. When the convict was arrested, he was living in what is now Soseki-san's room. We need a sample to help locate Selden's loot that's hidden in his old room. What form will the sample take? Mr. Shamspear sucked Selden's dick. Test his mouth. I don't know. Oh, the key. Yeah, you're right. So that's gotta be... I gotta present Olive? We will need something of Selden's in order to create the indicator solution to find his loot. And something the convict owned happens to be in the possession of somebody listed in the court record.
Upon my words, Miss Naruhodo, your powers of reasoning appear to be on the up.
Whose dick am I sucking? Fucking anyone who will let you.
So, which particular person do you have in mind? From whom can we obtain a possession of the late convict Selden to create the indicator solution?
Bingo.
Take that!
Ow! Miss Green!
Me? What do you want with me?
The key around your neck, if you please.
Sorry?
That key belonged to Selden. There will be remnants of secretions from the man's skin. I didn't say anything else. I was going for skin. And I didn't stop, you imagined it, on its surface that we can use.
Very true.
That is the sample we need. Using it, we can create the indicator solution required for Mr. Sholmes' skin print seeker. And find out exactly what Selden touched in the room that he used to rent. Ah!
Mr. Shamspear, as one great to another, I assure you.
If the late convict's hold is hidden somewhere... Oh, is the stream shitting itself? Oh yeah, my bit rate's taking a dump. Bit of a hiccup. We'll be alright.
If the late convict's hold is hidden somewhere in his former lodgings, I shall uncover it in no more than 30 minutes.
So, Mr. Shamspear, the truth is well within our grasp now, and as such, you will never get your hands on Selden's stolen wealth.
In that case, I'll gladly let Mr. Sholmes have this key. No, give the key to me. The detective shan't have it.
You ever immediately regret painting your nails? No, because I've never done it. It's over, Mr. Shamspear.
No, no.
You're out of options now. There's only one thing left for you to do. Admit your guilt.
Whoa.
Oh, here it comes.
Oh, shameful spear, despair, be thy name.
Oh, God. Well, that was pretty tame. I regret a lot. lot. I regret becoming a femboy sometimes. Well, then just fucking have days off. Easy. I never intended to kill the man. I just wanted to drive him out of the room. That's all. You'd have time to find the convict's haul of stolen goods. Yeah, he's where the not guilty confetti comes from. That doesn't seem like a true breakdown. It was very subdued, wasn't it, Doppel? It was very quick. Kind of disappointing. I hope there's more, but there might not be. He's kind of he's admitting his guilt right now, so maybe Olive Green also has one? I don't know. Yet after you'd killed the young man, you still didn't move into the room. I asked the landlord, of course. I pleaded with him, but he refused. Why? I was 3 months behind with the rent, for one thing. Mr. Garrett really has had a lot to put up with. And he had the gas repair work done immediately afterwards, putting the room out of action for a while. And then this Japanese man swooped in at the right moment to sign the new lease. Poor Mr. Natsume. What unfortunate timing. Then 5 days ago, after the incident on Briar Road, when the Japanese fellow got himself arrested, I thought I'd finally have my chance, but it wasn't to be. No, the scene was sealed off and guarded by police night and day. And if I remember rightly, Mr. Shum spent the whole day in there reading books. I couldn't even enter the room, let alone search for the loot. Which is why, on the day Mr. Natsume was acquitted and returned to his room, you once again tried your trick of blowing air into the gas pipe that feeds the stove into his room. Unbeknownst to you, however, that action would lead you into a deadly trap. Oh. William Shakespeare, how does it go? To be or not to be? That is the question. From Shakespeare's Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1. Well, let me tell you in your case, it's not to be. That is the answer. You deserve to die for what you've done. Still time for a fake out. Oh, is it her time to break down now? At first, I really did think it was just a terrible accident. Yeah, they gave her a crate so she can be above the bar. I'll never forget our conversation the night before Duncan died. The gas supply and my new lodgings are a complete disaster, you know, Olive. I don't know why. I'm sorry I gave you this voice. The gas supply? Yes, the stove always seems to go out in the middle of the night for some reason. That's no joke. They say it's the convict's curse. Oh, Duncan, please don't stay there. I don't care how cheap it is. All right, then, if it's that important to you, I'll start looking for a new place. That's my room's in my house. Why did you leave that horrible room tonight? No, I better not. We said we'd wait until we graduated before we told our parents, remember? But that was the last time we ever spoke. That very night, you fell victim to the gas. I'll so miss his sexy accent. Sexy accent? What? But never mind. Shut up. If only I'd known it was going to happen, I'd have insisted he left that horrible room that instant. But instead, all I've been left with is bitter regret. I stopped going to school, but something kept drawing me back to the house on Briar Road. I saw a stooped Eastern-looking man with a mustache coming out of the house one day when I was there. He walked up the road to Grubb's Grubbery for some food, so I followed him and sat myself down next to him. Had some watery-looking soup, and I started to pick a quarrel with the publican? That place is cursed, I tell you! Cursed! That bike tire's messed up, yeah. The ghost of that convict who used to live there is trying to suffocate me! I wake up in the middle of the night, freezing to death because the stove has gone out. The room is full of gas and I can hardly breathe.
But the pipes have been checked. No problem there. It's like I'm the problem. That's what they're thinking. But how could that be? Duncan was gone, and now this man has almost suffered the same fate. Could it really be a curse? Then I remembered a rumor I'd heard about how the gas companies go around investigating the gas installations. A rumor? You mean? Yes, everybody's heard the stories, it seems, about how they go around checking the pipes. How anything connected to the gas can be extinguished by blowing air into the pipework. Well, that's when it started. A little flicker of doubt in the back of my mind. It just wouldn't go away. Was it really an accident, though? Once I'd had the idea, it wouldn't leave me alone. It plagued me day and night. So I bought this at one of the black markets at the East End.
A black market?
I'd never been. I just heard people talk about them. You really can buy anything you can think of there. In some ways, being able to get my hands on this so easily made me even more determined. I had to find out one way or another. Was Duncan's death an accident, or was it murder?
And your chosen method for establishing the truth was simple, but highly effective. Smear poison on the gas pipe you suspected the man of tampering with, and wait. Or kill an innocent gas inspector. Also the case. If Mr. Shamspear was innocent, nothing would come of what you'd done. Until a gas inspector dropped dead, but anyways, who cares about them? They're not human. But if he was guilty, he would pay for his crimes dearly.
I found out the name of the man I suspected, William Shamspear, and then I wrote him this little note. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. If he'd done it, I knew that it would worry him enough so he'd be sure to go. So I waited to see if it worked.
And of course, Mr. Shamspear followed the instructions to the letter.
I worked out where the gas pipe was straight away. I smeared a good amount of the poison I'd bought all around the mouth of the pipe. All the time praying that the devil's work wouldn't be done and that it was all just some wild fantasy. Actually, no. All the time praying that the devil's work would be done and that the culprit would get his just desserts. Damn. Well, you're guilty, so, fucking... Thanks for the sob story, sister, but, yeah, you are going to the gallows now. 3 days ago, when you were first stood in the dock before me, this whole affair seemed relatively straightforward. Yes, my lord. I certainly never imagined the depths of depravity that we should subsequently find lurking behind the scenes.
Where's the gavel? I don't have one. Wish I did.
It has been a long road, my Nipponese friend.
Oh, yes.
And one I certainly didn't envisage walking with you. Oh my god, just date already, Jesus. He's in a committed relationship, you hussy, with Herlock Sholmes. Nevertheless, together we have reached the light at the end of the tunnel, as it were. Miss Green. Yes, my lord. You will henceforth be stripped of your freedom, as punishment for the attempted murder of Mr. William Shamspear. Yes, I know. And you, Mr. Shamspear, you will be tried for the murder of Mr. Duncan Ross in cold blood, and the subsequent attempted murder of Mr. Soseki Natsume here present.
Is murder in cold blood an actual old criminal charge? Is that what they used to call first-degree murder? Was like you weren't like hot-blooded and like it wasn't an act of emotion? You fully considered it while your blood was cold? I never actually thought about that, but that makes sense.
Mr. Naruhodo.
Ah, yes.
Yesterday,
Ooh. Oh, excuse me. I've been in the sun too long and falling asleep.
yesterday at the hospital, when you were a friend, stopped me from...
From ending your life by drinking what was left in the poison bottle.
I wasn't myself. I can't even really remember what was going through my mind. To be or not to be, I suppose. It's a question that's so hard to answer, it seems.
Well, personally, I'm glad of your being here, Miss Green. Because otherwise, we absolutely would have lost this trial and I would have been straight fucked.
Oh,
And I'd like to believe that it's a blessing Mr. Shamspear didn't die when he ingested the poison. For your sake, at the very least. Aw.
because of you, I chose life, not death. And now you've made the truth come out at last. Really, I can't thank you enough.
Oh, Miss Green.
Yeah, alright, she's still going to jail. Mr. Saseki Natsume.
Yes, my lord.
The court declares that you were exonerated from all blame in this matter. Accordingly, I will call upon the ladies and gentlemen of the jury to present a verdict of not guilty. We are in full agreement, my lord. In that case, I hereby declare the defendant...
Hell yeah. Yeah, that breakdown was trash. That might be the worst breakdown I've ever seen. Good case, though.
Court is adjourned.
Yeah, the fact that he did get duck hunted was pretty funny. Getting fucking sniped midair. But yeah, that I can't think of another breakdown that was worse than that one. That might actually be the worst one in all of Ace Attorney. Which is pretty disappointing, but oh well. Still fun. They should add Shamspear to Smash Bros. Yeah. When's that happening? 23rd of February, 3:24 p.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. It'd be funny if they pan upward showed them shaking Shamspear for confetti. Yeah, they can't all be winners. Oh, yes, yes, at last! Divine justice duly done!
Divine justice. My dear fellow, if there were any divine justice in this world, you would shave that mustache.
No! This has nothing to do with my mustache!
Some say that a luxuriant mustache is a sign of physical prowess, Mr. Sholmes.
Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! Do you like my mustache? Once again, you've saved me from doom! I'm very happy to have been able to help, Mr. Natsume. Congratulations on your acquittal. Your second in almost as many days. I like his mustache too. Is he the Larry Butts? No, he doesn't cause enough trouble to be Larry Butts. He just ends up in unfortunate circumstances. Larry Butts is like the cause of so much shit in the fucking games. If it smells, it's usually the butts.
I was first acquainted with and gained affection for English literature whilst in our great homeland empire. And then, by a twist of fate, I was brought to the land that bore the fruit of that literature.
Who is Larry Butts? He is a recurring character from the first trilogy. And he is awful. He sucks. Butts is usually innocent in the game, right? Yeah, he's usually not like the actual like perpetrator. He just usually has something to do with it. I know there was a DLC case in Spirit of Justice that had him in it. But I don't think he was, if I recall, like, I think it was mainly just, he was like a bad witness. Yeah, my defendant didn't lie to me prolifically in this case, which is nice.
Only the city of bricks and mortar became my prison. Try as I might, I never found my feet here. In the end, I confined myself to my room and lived life through friendly old books.
You've had such a difficult time, haven't you? Ah, but a week ago now, I dragged you out of that dark and dingy room of yours, did I not?
You did, and I've seen more of life in this week than in all of my years to date. And for the first time, I feel I've begun to see the true face of the English that's so far been hiding from me from behind the wall of fog.
My dear fellow, there is nothing special about the true face of the English as you put it. Wheresoever one goes in the world, humans are human. There are few genuine differences.
Yes, I think you're right. I finally started to see that, and I've come to understand something. I've worked out why I was attracted to English literature in the first place. It made me see that whatever our nationality, we humans all have the same hopes and fears. We're all just doing our best to live.
Well said. I've come to feel the same way.
Humans fucking suck. God damn us all. I've made a decision too. I'm going to cut short my study tour here and return to Japan. What?
Just when we become friends here in England. What a terrible shame.
Oh, I know, that does tug at my heartstrings, it really does. But I've decided I'd like to take everything I've learned here in Britain and write something of my own. A novel of sorts, I suppose. Also, I'm really tired of almost dying, like all the time, and then being accused of murder. God, it's exhausting.
Oh my, so you'll be creating your own literature, Mr. Natsume. How wonderful.
It's gonna make the first isekai light novel. Kill him! Stop him before he can get away!
Oh, well, no, I mean, I wouldn't presume to call it literature.
Why not? When that is precisely the definition, Mr. Mustache.
I suppose you're right, yes. It will in a way be literature. But as of now, all I know is that I'd like to try my hand at writing. I have no delusions of grandeur.
I, for one, would love to read your work.
Okay, so it's about a guy, and he gets hit by a train, and then he goes. It's like a fantasy world, and like C.S. Lewis or J.R.R. Tolkien. So it's gonna be like a world based off of that. But he's gonna be like crazy powers, He's also gonna have like a bunch of bitches, he's just surrounded by bitches all the time.
Well, all things considered, it may be for the best. After all, you have once again emerged victorious from the battle with the Reaper.
Ah, that's very true.
And there is no salvation for a person in the dock when the Reaper is the prosecutor.
The desire to return post-haste to the perceived safety of your homeland is one I quite understand.
My goodness, yes. Faced with such a terrifying prospect. Nobody would consider that cowardly, I'm quite sure.
But that's not why I'm leaving. I mean it. Objection!
Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha. And that was the case that we found ourselves embroiled in 6 months ago now. Oseki-san did indeed return to Japan and submitted a report about both cases to the government. It was on reading that report that Professor Mikotoba was prompted to visit the scholar. And barely any time later, Susato-san was given the news that she must return to Japan as well. And on the back of a telegram stating falsely that her father had fallen gravely ill. The only possible explanation that comes to mind is what happened after the trial on the following day. The day that we uncovered the loot hidden by the now deceased convict in his former lodgings.
Ooh, the plot thickens again.
Oh, we're not done. 24th of February, 10:13 a.m. Mr. Natsume's room.
Oh, well done, Mr. Shelms. How simply marvelous of you. To uncover the secret hiding place in just one day.
Wasn't it supposed to take 30 minutes?
As I believe I told you, my dear fellows, skin prints are extremely useful in such situations.
Game, please, I want to go to bed, I know.
Wouldn't you agree, Gregson?
Fuck, guys, got fucking shit. Fuck, how'd we fucking miss? God damn it.
Gregsy's been happily munching on cream this whole time, you know, Hurley.
Happily, I suppose humorlessly might be closer to the truth.
So, it transpires the man fashioned a hiding place in the ceiling.
And what's in it? What exactly is the loot?
Let's look then, if you're ready. Let's examine the late burglar's haul.
What the? What is that? Oh, what the fuck? Somebody's kink play got a little out of hand.
Look, it looks to be some sort of neckband or collar.
A collar? It's huge though.
And look at all the gemstones sitting in it. I can see why it was claimed to be worth £1,000. Perhaps I could have it as a belt. Oh, have you noticed on the inside there? There are some dark stains.
You don't think they could be blood, do you? I mean, there's quite a lot of it.
On second thoughts, perhaps I won't have it as a belt. And of course, there's this emblem here. A large letter B and a small crown.
What does it signify, do you think? It's an industrial era femboy choker. Yeah, femboys were a lot bigger back then.
Oh, I hadn't noticed that. I feel as though I've seen that emblem somewhere before, you know. Where could it have been?
That's enough of that, I think.
What? What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes? Well, the color is drained from his face.
But Inspector, I believe you ought to be taking this, oughtn't you? It could be valuable evidence, after all. It must be kept safely under lock and key.
Ah, yes. Get your grubby hands off that, you lot, and hand it over, now!
The B stands for boy. I'd never seen a collar that large before. And all those jewels certainly look to be extremely valuable. That's not what stood out the most to me. At least not once I had noticed it. Those dark marks on the inside of the collar. Those stains. Could they really have been blood?
Well, that was a funny case, wasn't it? But it's all buttoned up now.
And you look very pleased, Iris.
I am, because I was starting to wonder what I could use as the basics of this month's story in the magazine. But this case will be perfect. It's been so fascinating.
You're talking about the latest installment of The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, I presume.
The mystery of the knife in the mist, and the mustached man in the convict's curse, perhaps. I could make it a two-part story. Oh, I can't wait.
I want to throw Iris out that window.
A word, please, Iris.
Yes, what is it, Hurley?
I'm sorry, but you can't write about this case. It's out of the question.
What? Why not? It's a great case.
Then I shall have to insist that you limit yourself to the first of your two titles. The second must never be written. Is that clear?
Yes.
And so it was that the second of Souseki-san's cases became buried in obscurity.
Voice acting? Hello?
Now, looking back, I feel I understand.
What was the second title again? It was The Mustached Man and the Convict's Curse.
I can see why Mr. Sholmes forbade Iris from publishing the story. It would take a little longer before I saw the link between everything that had happened and would happen. For it wasn't until 2 months after the arrival of Susato-san's letter that events began to unfurl again, with an incident that took place at the very heart of the eagerly awaited Great Exhibition of London.
And the plot thickens again! Wow, very interesting. They're setting up quite a bit this time. That's one of the things I appreciate about both this game and the first game in this trilogy, I guess. Or not trilogy, whatever 2 would be. Chronicles, I guess we'll just call it. They take a lot of notes from Dual Destinies and how they like to set up like the final case. Because that was the thing I loved about Dual Destinies. There was only one case that didn't actively set up the final case. Which what made the final case of Dual Destinies so good. How many games are there here? There's only 2 in this Chronicles. There's only Great Ace Attorney 1 and 2. I held up 3 fingers there, but I meant to hold up 2. Total? Main Ace Attorney games, there are 6. Spin-offs, there are 4, I think. Investigations 1 and 2 and Greatest Attorney 1 and 2. They ended on a cliffhanger as Chronicles 2 being going to be a thing. Oh, probably not. I imagine the plot point that they're setting up here is going to be wrapped up in the next game. Typically, when they fit together a collection of games, they're not going to add to that later. That is finished. All right. Well, that's going to be the Great Ace Attorney. Hell yeah, we're done with that. We got some stuff to chew on for next time, which is super exciting. YouTube, we're gonna end the recording here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time for episode 3. Bye bye.